Hey, thank you for being here. This is an extremely important webinar, and I know it's important because you've made the conscious decision to sit here and actively participate along with this presentation. So that you get the most from it, can I please just give you a couple of seconds now to turn off the mobile phone, maybe shut down some of the apps or the programs that you're running on your computer, just so that this webinar will come through and it will be uninterrupted. Fantastic. So I'd like to talk to you about how we can generate immediate cash flow today, utilizing the stock market, with you spending less than 5 minutes of your precious time to make that happen. Hello, my name is Chris, and I'm from the Money for Life program. Before we get going though, let me ask you a question. What if you could earn extra income that would give you the lifestyle that you've always dreamt of? Or would you love to be in the position where you could just relax, stop worrying heading towards your retirement, with the full knowledge that you will have gained the skills to generate more money easily, whenever you want? Or maybe you're in a household at the moment that just needs that extra income, just to get over those finances every single month. Well, guess what? You're in the right place. You see, this program is designed for mums and dads who want that extra income, or for people who have very busy lifestyles. And let's face it, we're all busy these days. We've all got other things to do and other places to be. Or perhaps you're preparing for your retirement right now and you're coming to the realization that you may actually have to work a lot harder, or perhaps even for a little bit longer than you anticipated. Or perhaps you're in that household, as I said, that just needs that additional money just to pay for those monthly bills. I mean, the cost of living is going up. We've seen it time and time again. It never stops. But let me tell you, this program is not for people that are not committed to a better life. If you can't follow a simple set of rules, then this isn't for you at all. And perhaps if you don't care about your financial future, or the flip of the coin, if you're a millionaire that are happy with your lot, then this program isn't for you either. So why am I doing this? Well, I'm looking for like-minded individuals who want to make a better life for themselves, who want to learn at their own pace and not have to rely on other people. I'm looking for people who want to retire easily or earlier, knowing that their future is catered for financially. And I'm willing to let you pass this knowledge on to your children, and perhaps even your grandchildren too, because it is that important. Now, I don't know if that's you yet. We'll see. In the next 45 minutes, I'm going to show you, 1, how to generate an income immediately, upfront, guaranteed. I'm also going to show you how to work out your return on investment, or ROI, before you commit to doing the deal. I mean, wouldn't it be fantastic if you could look at an investment opportunity and know up front, before you even did it, what sort of return you were going to be getting? And then one of the most fundamentally important things that I think about is how to protect my capital. And more importantly, how to use other people's money to make sure that I'm safe and secure in the investment that I'm in. Well, here's why you need to know what I know. You see, we've got a background in trading, financial planning, and real estate. You can see here from these diplomas that we've been involved in managed investments and securities and real estate for the last 15 years. And you can see from the middle diploma here, we've got a high distinction in the area of market products, managed investments and securities. So we've been coaching clients globally for over 15 years. I still trade my family's monies today using the exact strategy that I'm going to show you in this presentation. At the age of 35, I retired for the first time, and I live the lifestyle today that most people only dream of. But before I go on, I want to make you aware there is nothing for sale today. I'm not trying to sell you anything at all. I don't want to put any pressure on you. There is nothing for sale today. But if you do stay until the end of the presentation, then I have a gift for you. And that gift is going to dramatically change your results when it comes to you making money for life. And I've got a way that you can get all of your questions answered for free. So let me ask you, are you doing things the hard way? Are you working harder and getting little for it? You're noticing that life is getting more expensive, right? I mean, we all have. Do you find that you're spending less money on your wants because you need to cover the needs? Or perhaps you're worrying, what will you have to live off, when you finally do get to retire? Or maybe you find yourself right now having less time with your family and your loved ones. We talk about employment, but there's a lot of people out there who are underemployed, working harder and getting less for it. It doesn't have to be this way. You see, let me tell you about the easier way. And I've got some people here who have already participated in this program, and I'd like for them to be able to tell you, without taking huge risks or wasting a lot of their time, how they've been able to change their lives. Like Ros Carindale from Brisbane. She says, to learn anything, you not only need to have confidence in the coach, but more than that, you must be sure that the quality of the teaching is coming from a broad knowledge base. Chris has these attributes. He draws from his own in-depth experience, which is invaluable for new students. With each coaching session built upon the last, he gave an impressive continuity. Chris has always showed endless patience. Or Lee Croft from White Gum Valley, where he says after a shaky start, due to life, let's face it, we all have the issues that come within our lives. But with Chris's no-nonsense approach and superior people skills, he was able to begin learning how to make his dream become a reality. Chris makes it very easy to understand the system and has no hesitation in pushing your learning to its maximum potential for maximum gain. Or Heidi Cam from Queensland. Chris has the skills and experience to take your investing to a deeper level and increase your returns. With his thorough explanations, no questions were left unanswered, and these answers are always delivered with an honesty and integrity that I have yet to experience from other training facilities. I have to say to you up front though, these results are not typical. You see, I don't know you, you don't know me, and I don't know your circumstances or how well you can implement what we teach. See, most people I have found won't even get around to doing what they actually set out to achieve in the first place. Any results that I talk about in this presentation are therefore not typical. You see, it takes effort, persistence, and patience. And just like any normal business, there is always a chance that things just won't work out. Investing is not without risk. In no way are we promising as to what you can make out of what we do, or what I am teaching you here today. So now we've got that out of the way, let me reveal for you, 1, how to generate an income immediately, upfront, guaranteed. Before I do that, let me tell you a little interesting story. You see, I wasn't always a financial planner. As a matter of fact, I wasn't always in the financial services arena. My background was very much a military background. And I joined the military at a very early age. So let me tell you a little bit about my background. I wasn't always a financial services advisor. As a matter of fact, when I was a young buck, I was very much into the military. Joined the cadet system very early in the piece, and went on later on to continue into my adult life in the military. And that was great. You see, for me, the military provided certainty. It had that element of being told what to do, how to do it, when to do it, and more importantly, how to go about making sure that it was successful. It didn't matter what the task was, it was always going to be successful. When I decided I had enough of the military, I decided to go into private practice. I had a very, very specific set of skills that allowed me to make some very, very good money in the private industry. But what I didn't have was I didn't have a background in actually working in a dog-eat-dog type environment. So things didn't work out well for me. And it became very, very clear for me very, very quickly that if I was to get ahead in life, now that I was in a completely different world, I'd actually need to go and get some mentoring. I'd actually need to have somebody being able to show me the tricks of the trade, so to speak. So I went out there to learn all I could to maximize the income potential that I had and the future for my family. And what I found was there were a lot of people who were prepared to tell me what to do, but not tell me why I had to do it. Perhaps they were going to show me how to do it, but not in a way that I actually understood the whole global picture. So in essence, they were literally giving me the fish. And what was happening was that I was being tied down to always relying on someone else to do the work for me. See, that's where this program is different. See, the cliche, and it works so well because it is a cliche, is this: I don't want to give you the fish. I want to teach you how to fish. I want you to walk away with the skills and knowledge and ability that you need to apply this strategy wherever it is that you are at any point in time. That's what we're here for. So, let's have a look at 2 examples of how we go about generating this income. Now, these are examples only, and I don't want you running out and trading them today or next week. What I'm showing you here is strictly for educational purposes only. However, the figures that have been used are very much real. What we're going to do is we're going to use a strict set of rules where we buy a blue chip share in the largest share market on earth. And then we're going to pre-sell that share utilizing a contract called an option for an agreed price. And we're going to do that by an agreed date. And the benefit for us is that by providing this contract, we receive a fee upfront immediately just for creating that contract. Now, I'm about to show you a trading platform. This is through a broker service, and I need you to be aware that I don't care what broker service you may choose to use in the future. I'm not affiliated with any brokers, and I'm not here to sell a product on behalf of a third company. So what you're about to see is one of the better products or better platforms in the industry that I use for my own personal trading. And it's going to demonstrate very quickly and easily for you just how we can go about creating this income.
Okay folks, so now I want to show you a real live trade. And what I mean by that is I'm going to show you exactly from point A to point B what it is that we do in order to place this strategy. The strategy is known as a covered call, which means that we're going to be buying an underlying share and simultaneously, or at the same time, creating a call option which pre-sells that share at a particular price by a particular time. I want you to take notice of the amount of time it does take us to place this trade, because that's the most important part from my perspective, is the amount of time and effort I need to do in order to create the income immediately up front. And as I've said to you, it's going to take less than 5 minutes. It may take a little bit longer or seem a little bit longer as I explain some of the intricate parts to you, but the overall scenario is going to take less than 5 minutes to facilitate. So once we've determined a share that we would like to purchase, in this case I'm looking at a company called Twitter, and we all know who Twitter is, the social media company. Twitter is a blue chip company that has been listed on the American market for a period of time now, and has some trading history behind it. So once we've determined that this is the sort of company that we would like to invest in, all we need to worry about is its stock code, in this case TWTR. We need to see the price that it's currently trading for, and in this case it's $29.39. And then we need to see what sort of income we can make by writing a call option up, which will give us the income cash flow that we're after up front. In order to do that, we need to analyze what are known as option chains. Okay, so the option chains that we're looking at here for Twitter are very important to us because it helps us to establish what sort of price we can sell our shares for, also known as the strike price. it stipulates the time that the contract will be in play. And in this case, we're looking at the 20th of the 4th. So we have 9 days until the contract that we create will expire. And most importantly, it shows us under the bid column the sort of price per share that we can look at receiving as an income right now. So we know that the Twitter share is currently worth $29.39. So we can go ahead and buy that today. We can agree then to sell that share for $29.50. And as long as the share price becomes higher than that value, either $29.50 or higher, by the 20th of April, 9 days from now, then our shares will be sold for $29.50. And you can see that that would give us some appreciation, capital appreciation. We would end up making around about 11 cents per share, just on the capital appreciation. But that's not what this strategy is about. The strategy is necessarily about the money that we can make immediately up front. And we can see here from the bid column on the option chain that we would be paid $1.03 per share immediately today. I'm now going to show you how we simply place this trade in the market now that we have that relevant information. We simply go to our trade button, come down to an all-in-one trade ticket, and each broker is different. I just happen to find that this platform is the easiest to use. And all we simply do is place in the stock code, TWTR, select the strategy that we'll be employing, which is the covered call, and the computer will tell us in a format of how to place this trade. The first thing we do is we buy the share, and in this case, we have to buy 100 shares as a minimum. We then sell the call option, and we're going to accept the expiry period of the 20th of April, and we've agreed to do it for $29.50. So the computer actually tells us how much we're going to pay for the stock. It shows us how much we should expect to receive in terms of an income. And it shows us what the expiry period and the strike price is going to be for setting that deal up. Now, because we have to buy the share and receive the income at the same time, the computer is telling us that there is a debit which will be coming out of our account because we have to pay for it up front. So we place in here a limit amount that we expect to have come out of our trading account. And in this case, because we're paying $29.39 for the share and we'll be receiving $1.03, the amount that I would expect to have out of my trading account equals $28.36. We leave it as a day order, meaning that this order either goes through or it gets cancelled automatically. Once we've set that order in place, what we can then do is preview it so that we can see exactly what it is that we're purchasing, what sort of commission we can expect to pay, how much money we would expect to see come out of our bank account. And then when we're happy with that, we simply place the order.
So this is how we can apply this perhaps to your own personal situation. And just so that we understand, what we've done here is we've brought a blue chip share for $29.39 and we've made $1.03 up front. We've made that immediately by agreeing to sell that share for $29.50 over a contract period of 9 days. So that doesn't actually sound like a lot, right? Well, what if we didn't buy just one share? In fact, we actually have to buy a minimum of 100 shares. Now, that means that we've just invested $2,939 and we just made $103 up front for a contract period of 9 days. And you'll agree it took less than 5 minutes to do it. But wait, there's more to this particular example. You see, we bought the share for $29.39 and we've agreed to sell the share for $29.50. So that means there's an additional 11 cents per share that we're going to make when those shares get sold. So that means all up, we'll have made $1.14 or $114. Let's look at another example now. And this time I'm just going to go through the screenshots with you because you've already seen how the platform works. So here we have an example where we're buying a stock in a company, OSTK, and the share price last traded at $60.55. Now, for the purpose of this example, we're going to look at writing a contract up that has 14 days to expiry. And you can see here that if we agree to sell the share for $60.50, we're going to make $4.10 as a premium immediately upfront per share. Just so that we understand it, we've bought a blue chip share for $60.55, and now we've made $4.10 upfront immediately just by agreeing to sell the share for $60.50 in 14 days' time. But wait, Chris, I hear you shout. You've bought the share for $60.55, but you're selling it for less than that. You're selling it for $60.50. Are you mad? Well, no, not at all. You see, we are selling the share for 5 cents less than we bought it for, but we've already made $4.10 up front right now in our bank. So when the share does sell in 14 days' time, we get paid $60.50. Our net income really is $4.05. So it doesn't sound like a lot again, but again, if we did it in one share, well, we'd have to do it in 100. So that means that we've just invested $6,055, but we've made $410 up front. But at the end of the trade, we'll have $405 in our hand. That's a period of 2 weeks. And again, you'd have to agree, it took less than 5 minutes to do it. Now I want to go on to our second thing, working out your return on investment, or ROI, before you commit to the deal. So before I go and teach you about that, I just want to talk to you about size does matter. And what I mean by that is this. I come across people all the time that talk about investments, and particularly from a real estate point of view, they'll talk about, their $600 or $700 or $800,000 property that they've bought, and they're getting, $500, $600 a week in rent. And at the outset, that looks fairly good. I mean, who wouldn't like to have an extra $500 or $600 a week coming into the household, right? But the reality is to it, at the end of the day, by the time they pay for all their fees and charges on purchasing the house, by the time they pay the bank for the interest that they've got on the outstanding loan, by the time they pay their property manager for looking after the property, by the time they pay their tax and the other expenses and the maintenance bills and the insurance bills and all the rest of it, that $500 or $600 a week in rent that's coming in actually sees them in a position where they're literally taking money out of their own pocket just to keep the investment going every single week or every single month. Now, most people will rationalise that by saying, well, it's negatively geared, and that means that the money I'm putting into it on a weekly or a monthly basis, I'm getting some of that back in tax. And to some point, they're right. But you see, they're spending $1 to make 30 cents because that's all they're getting back in their tax, 30 cents in the dollar. And the other argument that, property doubles in value every 10 years, well, it may well do. But the problem is, you've bought the investment today and it's still costing you money out of your pocket every single week, every single month. So in actual fact, you're contributing and making yourself cash flow poor simply by having investment that on paper looks fantastic, but has very little in the way of returns. Same when I'm coaching people and they talk to me about their share trading that they're doing or their option trading that they're doing. And they say, Chris, I had a fantastic month this month, I made 3% for the month. And I think, well, that's great, fantastic. That's exactly where you want to be. I mean, we aim for between 2 to 3% per month. But then I speak to those other clients who perhaps aren't doing so well in their trading. And they look at it and they say, well, look, I've only made 3 or 4% for the year. Now, that's pretty much equates to putting your money into the bank. As a matter of fact, it's just a little bit better than putting your money into the bank and having the bank pay you a return on investment. So from my perspective, when I'm talking about investing, to me, size does matter. There's not much point getting all worked up, putting all of your money into a particular trade if you're not going to get a decent return for your investment. It's just not worth taking the risks. It's just not worth doing. I mean, if you're not prepared to accept a high return on your investment, stick the money in the bank, get your 2 to 3% from them per year, and be happy with it. Of course, we know that inflation is between 2 and 3% per year as well. So if you're only getting 2 to 3%, then the worth of your money today is actually going to be a lot less next year because your money is not keeping up with inflation. $1 today buys a hell of a lot more than it will buy in 10 years' time. Think about it. Think back to the time when you were a child. And perhaps, you'd go to the shops with mum or dad and you'd buy a loaf of bread and, some milk and some butter, and it'd cost $3. I mean, you can't buy a loaf of bread today for $3. It's just not feasible. So time does erode the value of money because of inflation. And we need to make sure that our investments are keeping up and exceeding that level of inflation, because size does matter. Right, the simple way to work out your return on investment. This allows you to determine, is this a good deal before you get into the whole thing. We take the value of the share that we're considering to buy. We divide the share value by the amount of money that we're going to receive up front. And we multiply the answer by 100 to get a percentage. And that tells us whether or not this is a good deal or not. So let's apply it to the trades that we've just done. Let's recap the first trade. So here we had a blue chip share for $29.39. We made $1.03 up front, and we agreed to sell the share for $29.50 in 9 days. Okay, that's $1.03 divided by $29.39, times it by 100, and gives us a return on investment of 3.5%. And that's for 9 days. That is a fantastic return. But of course, taking into account the net position of the trade, because we also sold the shares for more than we paid for them, then we would end up with a different return on investment. It would be $1.14 divided by the purchase price, $29.39. And that would give us a 3.88% return on investment. And we would know what that is up front before we even agree to the deal. You see, I'm happy making 2 to 3% per month, because when I annualize that out, I get between 24 and 36% for the year. That is better than any bank is ever going to pay you in terms of interest. It's better than any investment property is ever going to return you in terms of a return. And more importantly, the deal is for such a short period of time. With good liquidity, we're in and out of the market very, very quickly. That is a great risk mitigation purpose right there. So let's recap our second trade. So we bought the blue chip share for $60.55, and we made $4.10 up front, and we agreed to sell the share for $60.50 in 14 days' time, or 2 weeks. So that equates to $4.10 over $60.55. That gives us a return of investment of 6.77% for 14 days. That is awesome. But wait, you're right. We did decide to sell that share for a little bit less than we paid for it. So our net position would change it. That would bring it down to $4.05 over $60.55, giving us a 6.69% return. But the benefit is that we would know that before we agree to get into the deal in the first place. Now, I'd like to continue with my promise and show you the third thing that I said. And that is how to protect your capital, and better still, use other people's monies to do it. Here's a story that you might find interesting. You see, there are risks everywhere. And from time to time, you can appreciate that in my position, I come across families, individuals, who have been in a very affluent position, or have simply been in a position where they were comfortable and have made some investment decisions, or in some cases have made no investment decisions at all. And the sad reality is that they come to me with the stories of woe. And what I mean by that is that they believed somebody about a particular product or a particular circumstance or a scenario like cryptocurrency or some other form of binary option trading, or risky share trading, foreign exchange trading, where you go and put all your money in the bank and they leverage it up and they give you huge margin loans, and you go out there and you just put it out there because it's easy to do and this is the way to do it. We can make all this money. But they don't understand the risks that are involved with those types of transactions, those types of trades. And because they don't understand, they're very, very naive. And they fall into the traps where, unfortunately, they lose everything that they've got. And the saddest reality for me is that these people have trusted others to give them the sort of advice that they were hoping to derive, so that they can have the lifestyle that they've always been dreaming of. But they haven't been taught everything about their strategy. They haven't understood what it is that they're doing, and they've gone in completely blindsided. And when they lose everything, I don't just mean their money. I mean their families too. I hear stories all the time where the family unit has broken down, all because of money. Everything was fine until they lost their money. Everything was fine until they lost their jobs, or they lost their house. The repossession guy came around and took the car. And for me, that is the saddest thing that I can ever possibly think of. The breaking down of the family unit, all because of money. So it's very important that I need you to understand what the risks are with this particular strategy. And more importantly, how you can protect yourself from those risks. So understand what the risks are. Understand how that could affect you, but also understand how you can mitigate them. And for me, that is just as essential as any other part of this strategy. So let's talk now about how we can protect our capital. What we're going to do is we're going to follow a set of rules, a very strict set of rules, to select the right shares in the first place. That's fundamentally, number one, the most important thing. Make sure that we're investing in the right types of shares. Then we're going to understand that we generate the income upfront immediately. So that's money in my pocket, in my bank account right here, right now. Not next week, not next month, not if it ever comes off. Right here, that money up front. But we're going to use some of that money. That upfront money is going to give us some additional protection. Now, if you're wondering how we can use this, I'm going to show you specifically. And I'm going to relate it to the two examples that I've had here with you today. I need you to understand that we can perch a level of protection that will cover us if the share price tumbles. Because let's face it, at the end of the day, we're buying a share. We call it the underlying share, but we're buying a share. And the biggest risk with buying a share is that the value of that share price can drop. Okay? If that's one of the risks, then we need to be able to protect ourselves from that. So this cover is going to give you as much as 90% coverage of your capital. Okay? And we're not going to pay for it out of our pocket. We're going to use some of the upfront money before it comes to us. Now, what we're going to do is we're not going to buy an insurance policy. It's not called insurance. We're going to buy a contract. And that contract is going to increase in value if the share price drops. So what you're doing is you're hedging your bets. And by doing this, we call this a collar or a combo trade. And the reason we call it a combo is we're going to do it at exactly the same time that we enter into the first part of the agreement. So here, you can see that for the example Twitter, what we can do is we can go and buy a put option. And we're going to do that at a $26 strike price. So we're going to agree to buy this particular contract that says that if the value of the share drops below $26, it's going to continue to increase in value over and above that devaluation process. And for the benefit of this particular product, it's only going to cost us 14 cents per share. So let's have a look at how this would work. In that particular circumstance, we're going to cover 91.49 or 91.5% of our total investment. The return on investment will still be 3.4% for the 9 days, and it's still going to take less than 5 minutes to generate. So we've bought the underlying share, we've written the call option up, and we've received our income immediately up front. And then we've used some of that money to buy a put option, which has given us the protection, in this case, of up to 91% of our investment. And we've still made a very healthy return, and it's still only for a 9-day period. Let's look at the second trade. Here, OSTK, we've decided to take a put option at $54.50. The benefit for us here is that it's only going to cost $2 to undertake this level of protection. So if the share price drops below $54.50, the value of that put option is going to increase. And that's okay because we're buying that contract. So that increased value comes to us. Now, let's see what the numbers do. Well, in this trade, we're actually covering 93.47% of our total investment. And our return on investment, once the trade has been completed, is still giving us 3.38% return for the 9 days. And it's still taking less than 5 minutes to generate that sort of return. So look, I promised you that I'd teach you 3 things. 1, how to generate an income immediately, upfront, guaranteed. I'd show you how to work out your return on investment before you committed to the deal. And then I'd show you how to protect your capital using other people's money. Well, how did I go? Have I delivered on the promises that I've made to you? Well, I hope I have. I hope you've seen some value in what it is that I've been able to show you here today. You see, this strategy is considered to be extremely conservative by nature and is in actual fact quite boring. But that's okay. I love boring. When it comes to investing, the more boring it is, the better it is. You see, I don't want the roller coaster ride of high pressure ups and downs. I want a guaranteed, easy to analyze, very straightforward money making process. And the good news is this: it's not about whether the share price goes up or whether it goes down or whether it goes sideways. It's about knowing up front how much money are you going to be making, over what period of time, and how can we protect ourselves and our future by undertaking that particular trade. So I break it down into what you need to win. You see, you need the right education, you need the right mindset, and you need the right help. And that's the most important thing. I found this out for myself when I left the Defence Forces, where I had everything given to me. I needed to go and fend for myself, and I needed to get the right help to make sure that I made the right decisions, to get the right returns, to end up in the right way of living. So, as I see it, you effectively have 2 choices. You could click away now, forget everything that I've just told you, and go on your own merry way. But that also means that you go back to your old results. And let's face it, the reason you're here in the first place is because you're not happy with the way that your life is going at the moment. Or perhaps you know damn well that you need to find something to help you get to the lifestyle that you really, really do desire. So if you really want things to be different, then you need to change your life. You need to change your life in this area. And this is how I can help you. Congratulations. I said to you at the beginning of the presentation that if you hung around, I'd give you a gift. Well, I'm going to give you that gift now. It's worth $497. I promised it to you at the end of the class. If you were still here by this time, you would qualify for this particular gift. How would you like me to give you a plan that will help you achieve money for life? You think about those words, money for life. It means 2 completely different things, but they're so very, very, very important. Money for life, meaning you can have it for the remainder of your days. I'll give you the skills and the abilities that allow you to generate an income whenever you want, forever in your days. But it's also money for life. You can use that money to change your lifestyle. You can use that money to give you the things that you really, really want. Maybe it's a holiday. Maybe it's an extension to the home. Maybe it's the sports car. Maybe it's just the ability to take the family away or simply spend more time with your family. Whatever it is, it's money for life. So I'm happy to help you develop that plan to help you make that money. And more importantly, I'm here to help you achieve your financial goals. Now, I'm an educator. I'm not coming to you as a financial services provider. I'm not here to sell you a particular product. I said that at the beginning, remember? There's nothing for sale here today. But I am here to help you. So I will get you onto the path that will let you live the life that you deserve, working less than 5 minutes a day. This way you're going to have a consistent investment strategy without compromising your lifestyle. And I'm offering this service to you because, after all, I'm a coach. And I specialize in helping everyday people make up to 36% per year return on their money, guaranteed, using this little known safe strategy that, guys, the big banks have been using every single day. This strategy is not new. It's been around for 40 years. But there's a pretty good chance that you've got a challenge in achieving substantial returns in the way that you invest today. And that's if you invest at all. Maybe if you find that my way of solving this has some value to you, maybe you might want to become a client. And if that's the case, then great. Look, my rates start at $797 a month. But let me make something very clear. Please understand, I'm not offering you a sales pitch in disguise. Not at all. I promise I'm not going to pressure you. I don't want to pester you in any way at all. In fact, time is the most precious commodity of all. So, if you feel that I've wasted your time in any way at all, then I'll immediately provide you with a $500 store card to compensate you, and we part as friends. That's a given. It has to be we part as friends. Does that sound fair to you? I've set aside some time in the next 48 hours to speak to 15 people only about how you can apply these ideas to your life starting today. Whatever your biggest problem is, I know how we can help you solve it. You see, on a 45-minute call, I will help you in 3 ways. We're going to talk to you about your biggest challenge right now. What is it that you're facing? What is it that we need to overcome? We're going to show you how we can go about helping you solve that problem. Ultimately, I'm not going to solve it for you. I'm not going to give you the fish. I'm going to teach you how to fish. I'm going to help you solve that problem. And then we'll set up a step-by-step plan as to how you can reach your end goal without stressing about the future, without working harder, or without taking a whole lot of risk. See, this is for people who don't have a lot of time to waste. I can't afford for people to waste time. Okay, you have to have a minimum of $5,000 US to invest. It's as simple as that. For me to tell you it's going to cost you less than that to be involved in this sort of strategy, to participate in this sort of program, you'd be dreaming. You wouldn't be achieving anything at all. So you must be able to follow a simple set of rules. And you need to see real value in educating yourself. Look, if this sounds like you, then here's what I want you to do next. Schedule a call with me. Simply click the link that you see now. Afterwards, you'll see a form that comes up with a few questions about you and what you're looking to accomplish. Once you have all of that information together, we can put a few things together that we know are going to help you. It's going to help you make the right investment returns. You're going to learn as you earn. So that's as you're going along. Even though you may not completely get the whole grasp of the strategy, you're going to be able to earn money immediately without benefit. And you're going to give yourself the lifestyle that you choose. I urge you now, click on the button that you see. We only have a 48-hour window available, and I can only speak to 15 people in that time. I'm only human. I'm only available to speak to 15 people in that 48 hours. Please, click here. The 45-minute call, it's a gift from me to you. It will help you in 3 ways. It's going to give you the ability to talk about your biggest challenge right now. It's going to allow me to help you solve the problem. And it will set out a step-by-step plan as to how you can reach your end goal without stressing about your future, without working harder, and without taking a lot of risks.